AITA for refusing to attend my sister's wedding because she banned my husband from the ceremony? This whole situation has left me feeling completely torn, and I honestly don't know if I'm the asshole here. I've never posted anything like this before, but I'm hoping to get some clarity because I'm so deep in the drama that I can't see straight. So, here's the background. I, 32F, have been married to my husband, Mark, 34M, for almost 5 years. We met in college, fell in love, and have had a pretty solid relationship with few issues. I have a younger sister, Lily, 28F, who I was always very close with growing up. She's the kind of person who's a bit controlling and perfectionistic, but I tolerated it because I love her. Over the last few years, though, I've started to notice that her controlling side is more intense and sometimes crosses boundaries. A few months ago, Lily got engaged to her fiancé, Tom, 30M. From the beginning, she made it clear she wanted a perfect wedding, with every detail micromanaged by her. She started sharing plans with the family, but the one thing that stood out was how she talked about guests. She was very particular, and anyone she didn't like or thought might cause a fuss was off the list. That's fair in theory, but it started to get weird when she casually mentioned she didn't want Mark at the ceremony. I was shocked. At first, I thought it was a joke, but she was serious. Her reasoning? She said Mark makes her uncomfortable because of some disagreements they had in the past. It wasn't like they outright hated each other, but they definitely don't get along. Mark can be a little blunt and has a sarcastic sense of humor that Lily doesn't appreciate, but I honestly thought they could just be civil at a family event. She wouldn't say more than that, just insisted Mark could attend the reception, but not the actual ceremony. I tried talking to her about it. I asked why Mark was being excluded, especially from such a huge moment in my sister's life. I reminded her that we're family and weddings are about bringing people together, not dividing them. Lily got defensive and said she had reasons and that she wasn't going to discuss it further. I told her that made me uncomfortable and upset because I wanted to support her, but also wanted Mark to be there. She told me if I wanted to attend, I'd have to come alone. No Mark. Mark was hurt, but told me it was my call. We talked about it a lot, and I was leaning toward going alone because it was my sister's big day and I didn't want to miss it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized something felt wrong about it. Being asked to leave my husband out of the most important part of my sister's wedding felt like a huge slap in the face. I also started feeling like Lily's decision was unfair and possibly based on some petty grudge. I talked to my parents about it, and they sided with Lily, saying it was her wedding and she could decide who she wanted there. My mom said maybe Mark had said or done something to upset Lily in the past, and that we should respect her wishes for the sake of the family. That hurt because I felt like Mark was being punished for things he didn't do intentionally. I made my decision. I told Lily that I would not attend the wedding if Mark wasn't allowed to come. I told her it was a deal breaker for me because it wasn't just about Mark. It was about how she was trying to control the situation and exclude people based on personal grudges. I also said that if she changed her mind and included Mark, I'd be there without hesitation. She was furious. She called me selfish, said I was making her wedding about me, and that I was being unreasonable. I told her that excluding my husband from the ceremony was unreasonable. Now, the entire family is split. Some say I'm overreacting and should just go without Mark. Others say Lily was justified to protect her day. Mark is supportive, but also frustrated that I'm caught in the middle. The wedding is next month, and I'm standing firm. I've told my sister I love her, but I won't be there if she won't have my husband. I want to ask, AITA for refusing to attend my sister's wedding because she banned my husband from the ceremony? Or should I suck it up for her special day? Thanks for reading. I'm really struggling with this one. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the content grow and motivates me to create even more great videos. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any new uploads. By the way, I'm curious, when do you usually watch my videos? While working, studying, or just relaxing at home? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your support. AITA for refusing to let my sister's fiancé walk me down the aisle instead of my dad. I'm 27F. Getting married next spring to my fiancé of 3 years, Liam. We've been planning the wedding for months, and for the most part, it's been smooth sailing. The only big source of drama has been my older sister, Amanda, 30F, and her fiancé, Travis, 33M. A little context. My dad and I have always been very close. My parents divorced when I was 10, and while my mom was loving, she was also the fun parent who wanted to be liked. My dad, meanwhile, was the one who actually showed up, school events, late-night science projects, sitting with me through panic attacks, helping me through college applications, driving 4 hours to fix my car when I broke down during finals week. He's the most stable person in my life. Amanda, on the other hand, has had a very complicated relationship with him. She was 16 when the divorce happened and blamed Dad for it. She sided with Mom and barely spoke to Dad for years. They only recently started rebuilding their relationship, maybe 2 years ago. Now, Travis comes from a pretty wealthy family. He's one of those people who tries to be the center of the story all the time, charming, loud, generous in ways that make you feel like you owe him. He has this habit of inserting himself into every situation, offering unsolicited advice, and acting like he's everyone's mentor. The drama started about 2 months ago when Amanda asked me who was walking me down the aisle. I said it was obviously going to be Dad. She gave me this weird look and said, "Don't you think that's a little unfair?" I asked what she meant, and she told me that since Dad wasn't really there for her growing up, it would be symbolic and healing for him to walk her fiancé down the aisle as a kind of apology gesture. She wanted Travis to walk me down the aisle, passing the torch, as she put it, while Dad walked Travis to the altar. I thought she was joking, but she wasn't. I said, "Amanda, that makes 0 sense. Dad's my father. Why would Travis walk me down the aisle?" She said it would be a powerful family moment, that it would show forgiveness and unity. I told her flat out no, that I wasn't comfortable with that. That should have been the end of it, but then Travis got involved. He called me a few days later and said he wanted to talk about the aisle thing. He told me he understood my hesitation, but thought it would be a beautiful gesture, and said, "Your dad could still be part of it. Maybe he could stand next to me while I walk you." I laughed, genuinely laughed, because the visual of that was ridiculous. He got offended and said I was making fun of something deeply meaningful. Ever since then, Amanda and Travis have been on a campaign to convince me. They brought it up to my mom, to Liam, even to my maid of honor. My mom told me I should just consider it because Amanda's finally happy and this could help her heal. Here's where things got ugly. We had a family dinner last weekend at my mom's house, and Travis brought it up again. He started with, "So, have you come around to the idea?" I said, "No, and I'm not going to." Amanda snapped that I was being selfish and that I always have to make everything about myself. I reminded her that it's literally my wedding. Travis then gave this long speech about what family unity means and said if I cared about true reconciliation, I'd do this small symbolic thing. I told him to stop trying to hijack my wedding for his therapy session. My dad, who was sitting quietly the whole time, finally said, "Amanda, I love you, but you don't get to use your sister's wedding to fix our past." Amanda started crying. Mom got mad at Dad for making it worse, and Travis accused me of turning the family against Amanda. I ended up leaving early with Liam. The next morning, I got this long text from Amanda saying I'm heartless, that I've always been Dad's favorite, and that I'm rubbing it in her face. She said she and Travis might not even come to the wedding if I can't do one simple thing for family peace. I told her I'd be sad if she didn't come, but I'm not changing anything. She replied with, "Then enjoy your divided family." Since then, Mom has been trying to mediate, saying I should compromise by letting both Dad and Travis walk me down together. That makes me deeply uncomfortable. It feels forced, artificial, and frankly weird. Dad doesn't even like Travis that much. He finds him pushy and performative. Liam is fully on my side and said, "This is about you, not their emotional theater." But now I'm getting messages from some relatives who heard Amanda's version. Apparently she told people I refuse to let Dad make amends, and that I'm punishing her for having different feelings about the divorce. A few aunts have said I should do the mature thing and set the tone for family unity. I don't want to create a scene or lose my relationship with my sister, but I also refuse to have my wedding turned into a public therapy session. I just want a normal ceremony where my dad walks me down the aisle, gives me a hug, and sits down. Liam says we should just quietly move forward and stop engaging, but I keep second-guessing myself. Everyone keeps framing it like I'm standing in the way of healing, and that word keeps echoing in my head. I'm torn between thinking they're being unreasonable and wondering if maybe I'm too rigid about this. Part of me wonders if this really would help my sister somehow, but the bigger part of me feels sick at the idea of letting someone else take over a moment that's supposed to be mine and my dad's. So, Reddit-style judgment time. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my sister's fiancé walk me down the aisle instead of my dad, even if it supposedly helps the family heal? AITA for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after she completely changed the guest list and blamed me for it? I, 28F, have always been close with my sister, 31F, though our relationship has had its ups and downs like most siblings. Growing up, we shared a lot and confided in each other, but as we got older, our lives diverged. I'm more introverted and selective about social gatherings, while she's more outgoing and loves big events. Recently, this difference has been a huge source of tension. The story starts when my sister got engaged about a year ago. Initially, she told me she wanted a small, intimate wedding with just family and a handful of close friends. That was perfect for me because I'm not big on huge social events, and I was really looking forward to supporting her in this way. Over the next few months, I helped her plan a lot of the smaller details, like picking out venues and catering options, and even made some suggestions about the guest list, all of which she appreciated at the time. We had several heart-to-heart conversations about the size and tone of the wedding, and she was very clear that she didn't want a massive event with hundreds of people, which I completely agreed with. Then things started to change. About 2 months ago, my sister suddenly announced that the guest list had ballooned from around 50 people to over 200. When I asked why, she said she just realized that everyone deserves to be invited and that she wanted to celebrate with the whole community. I was surprised, but didn't want to push it at first, figuring maybe she had a good reason. But then, I found out from another family member that the new, massive guest list meant some people I had specifically asked her not to invite were on it. These included some old friends who had caused drama in the family years ago, and people I knew would make the day uncomfortable for others. I felt blindsided because I had explicitly told my sister these invitations would be a mistake. I reached out to her to talk about it, and said I was uncomfortable with the new guest list and asked if we could revisit it together to make sure the wedding was still a manageable, positive environment for everyone involved. My sister got very defensive and said I was trying to control her wedding and who she could invite. She said it was her day and that I needed to respect her decisions. The worst part is that when I brought up the people I was worried about, she flat out blamed me for the guest list issues. She accused me of spreading rumors about her friends and family, trying to sabotage the event, and even told me I was selfish for wanting the wedding to be smaller and more exclusive. This really hurt, especially since I'd only ever tried to help. Since that conversation, she's been cold toward me, and there's a big rift between us. She also removed my name from the wedding party. I was originally a bridesmaid, and told me not to come to the wedding if I wasn't going to be supportive. Here's where it gets tricky for me. I genuinely want to support my sister on her wedding day, but I also can't bring myself to attend a huge event that feels so different from what she initially promised, and where I'm essentially being blamed for problems I didn't cause. The fact that she's cut me out of the party and made me feel like an enemy when I was just trying to help has left me feeling hurt and betrayed. I told her I wouldn't be attending the wedding unless she apologized and acknowledged that her sudden guest list change and the way she handled the situation was unfair to me. She refuses to apologize and says I'm being unreasonable. Our parents are caught in the middle, with them trying to encourage me to attend for family peace and telling her to make amends. Now, I'm stuck wondering if I'm the asshole here for refusing to attend my sister's wedding over this. I know it's a big day for her, but I also feel like my feelings and efforts to help have been completely disregarded. At the same time, I don't want to cause more family drama, but I also don't want to pretend everything is fine when it's not. So Reddit, am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after she changed the guest list, ignore my concerns, and blame me for the problems? Or should I just put my pride aside and attend to support her regardless?